I broke down all the non-technical stuff about running Google Ads into 8 points, and this is how I think through it to run our ads effectively. My name is Ramin and I own Strategize Pro. It's where we have helped consultants to systematize their client acquisition. Have you ever looked at Google Ads and thought to yourself, this should be the easiest way to get clients, and people are literally searching for what I do? On paper, it makes perfect sense, because when you think about it logically, Google is not like social media. On LinkedIn or Instagram, people are just scrolling. They're not looking for you. But on Google, people are actively typing something. They're searching and they're trying to solve a problem. So naturally, the assumption is, if I show up when they search, I should get clients. But what happens? You run ads, you get clicks, and then nothing really converts. Or worse, you spend money, get traffic, and feel like none of it was even remotely relevant to your business. And at that point, most consultants come to a very quick conclusion and they say it's too expensive or the leads are low quality. But here's the truth. In almost every case I've seen, the problem was not Google Ads. It was the way it was being used and the gap between what people think Google Ad is and how it actually works. There are a few misconceptions that almost every consultant has when they approach Google Ads. And I want to slow this down because these are not small misunderstandings. These are things that completely shape how you build your campaigns. The first misconception is the idea that Google Ads is just about showing up for the right keyword. So people think, if I just pick the right keywords, the right people will come. But what they don't realize is the keywords don't just represent topics, they represent intent. And intent is much more nuanced than just a word. The second misconception is that people on Google are ready to buy. This one is very common because yes, people are searching, but searching does not always mean they are ready to make a decision. Sometimes they are searching, sometimes they're comparing, sometimes they're just trying to understand your problem. And if you treat all of them the same way, you end up speaking to people at the wrong stage. And the third misconception is around budget. When things don't work, the instinct is, maybe I just need to spend more. But if the structure is wrong, more budget doesn't fix the problem. It just makes you lose money faster. Let's actually walk through what happens when someone interacts with a Google ad. Because once you understand this clearly, everything starts to make more sense. On a first step, someone types in something into Google. Now, this is where most people stop thinking. They just assume, okay, this person is looking for my service. But that's not true, because what they type can mean many different things depending on the context. For example, someone searching business consultant could be a company looking to hire, a student researching, a small business owner exploring, or someone just curious about what consultants do. So right away, you're not dealing with one type of person. You're dealing with multiple layers of intent. On the second step, they see your ad, but they don't just see your ad. They see multiple options at the same time. Different companies, different messages, different promises, and within a few seconds, they make a decision. Which one of these feels most relevant to me? Not the best, not the smartest, the most relevant. Step 3, they click. And this is where most consultants think, okay, now I just need to convert them. But no, this is where the real filtering process begins, because now the person is asking, is this exactly what I was looking for or not? And if there is even a small mismatch, they leave. Let me give you a real example to make this clear. When I first started, I was targeting very common keywords, things like business consulting services, strategy consultant, consulting firm. On the surface, it made sense. These were high volume keywords and a lot of people were searching for them. So I thought more searches means more opportunities. And technically I was right. I was getting traffic, people were clicking, but when we looked deeper into what was actually happening, the quality of those clicks was completely off. I was getting people who couldn't afford our services, people who didn't understand what I was offering, people who were not even in the right stage to buy. So from my perspective, it looked like Google Ads is bringing bad leads. But from a system perspective, Google Ads was doing exactly what it was told to do. It was bringing people based on broad and unclear intent. This is why when Google Ads is not structured properly, you start seeing very specific patterns. These patterns are important because they tell you what's actually broken. The first pattern is you get traffic, but nothing converts. So you look at your analytics and think people are clicking, so something is working. But in reality, the clicks are coming from the wrong people. The second pattern is you get leads, but they go nowhere. You get on calls and quickly realize they're not a fit, they're not ready, or they don't even see the value. And third pattern is inconsistency. One week you get something, then nothing, then maybe one lead again, and there's no clear reason why. And that's the part that creates frustration because you can't rely on it. Now let's look at where the structure usually breaks. Initially, consultants choose broad keywords because broad feels safe. It feels like you're covering more ground, but what you're actually doing is attracting mixed intent. Then they send all the traffic to one general page, a page that tries to explain everything, speaks to everyone, a page that covers all scenarios. And what happens when you try to speak to everyone? No one feels like you're speaking directly to them. Then they expect conversion, but conversion only happens when there is alignment between what the person searched, what they expected, and what they saw. If those three don't match, conversion doesn't happen. This is something I had to understand myself over time because early on I approached Google Ads like most people did. I thought it was a technical game, keywords, bids, budgets, optimization. So every time something didn't work, I kept adjusting the surface level things. Change keyword, adjust the bid, test a new variation, but nothing became consistent. And that's when I realized the problem was not in details. It was in the foundation. There was no system connecting everything together, so each campaign felt like a new attempt instead of a repeatable process. And this is where most consultants misdiagnose the problem. They think Google Ads is about choosing the right keywords, setting the right budget, optimizing the right performance metrics, but for consulting businesses, those are not the core drivers. What actually matters is how clearly you define the problem you solve, how specifically you match that to search intent, and how well your message filters the right people in and the wrong people out. Without that, you can optimize forever and still not get results. A proper Google Ads system for consultants is actually much simpler than people think, but it requires precision. On the step one, you target specific intent, not just keywords, not business consultant. It's something like how to fix declining revenue in a consulting firm. For example, lead generation for management consultants, something that reflects a real defined problem. In step two, your message directly matches that problem. So when someone clicks, they feel immediate clarity, not confusion, not curiosity, but clarity. And finally, you guide them into a next step in a controlled way to a landing page that often offers a lead magnet offer. So a lead magnet is solving a narrow problem for free that naturally leads the prospect to your main service. And when these three steps align, Google Ads stop feeling random.